Hi friends, how are you? I just wanted to pop on here real quick. Let's just make sure I'm live first. Okay, I'm live. I just wanted to hop on here. If you are feeling a little bit down, I figured I'd come on here and give a little bit of a pep talk. I wanted to talk today about how it's okay to feel defeated. A lot of times we see, everyone's highlight reel on Instagram, or if you watch YouTube videos, it's really easy to watch decluttering videos and see a full home declutter in 20 minutes and just think that it was an easy thing. And for some people, I'm sure it is. For some people, they don't have that emotional attachment to clutter, and so it's really easy. They just need the time and they have the motivation to just get it done. But I feel like for the majority of us in any area of our life, not just in decluttering, but if you try to do any sort of big goal, I do think that we struggle, that that's just part of the process. And so I wanted to talk about if you feel like you've decluttered before and you just feel defeated, you feel like, what's the point? Why even try? I want to give you hope that, like, it's okay to feel defeated. You just have to pick yourself up and try again. And I feel like we focus so much on taking these big strides. We want to make huge progress in a way that we like. Think about it this way. I think about New Year's resolutions all the time. There's some sort of stat that I don't quote me on this, I have to go look it up. But I remember reading somewhere that it was like something like 80% of people who set New Year's resolutions have given them up by Valentine's Day. So they're only 6 weeks into the year and they give them up. And why is that? And I think one of the main reasons that people give up their goals is because they set this idea that it's going to be perfect, that all they need is motivation, and they do stuff in such a way, like if they want to get in shape, they go from being sedentary and then they set a goal that I'm gonna, this year is gonna be different. I'm gonna all of a sudden go work out 5 days a week for an hour each. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. And there's such a drastic change that a lot of times it's so hard to make that huge habit shift. As opposed to if maybe their goal was to, hey, I'm going to walk around the block and I'm going to do that 3 times this week. And maybe next week I will walk around 2 blocks or something like that. Having like a really small goal and then increasing it. I think people would find so much more success if they focused on the little things. So when it comes to decluttering, instead of focusing on like you have to be perfect, you have to have an entire weekend to completely declutter your home, it's okay if you just have a few minutes here and there. And honestly, I think it's better to declutter and to clean up with a few minutes at a time because it's all about habit change. Unless there's like some sort of weird thing happening in your home that like a bulldozer shows up every day and just pushes stuff into your house, like odds are it's the stuff in your home is due to your habits. You have a habit of bringing things in and not a habit of taking things out. And so when we do things fast, that's great, but a lot of times it's not slow enough for our habits to change. And if we do that, we can automatically go back to where we were. And I kind of have a complaint about people who hire professional organizers. I feel like there is a time and a place for professional organizers, um, especially for people who who physically struggle to do the physical work of decluttering. I think that there's a very valuable reason to have a professional organizer. But what I see often is someone will, like a mom of three who's busy, she'll hire a professional organizer, spend hundreds of dollars to have this professional organizer go through, and a big one is to organize the pantry. But it's organized in such a way that it's so pretty. But I'm like thinking, like, are you gonna have the time when you're rushing home after work and your kids are crazy and you're trying to get dinner on the table? Are you gonna have the time to keep your pantry looking the way it was after your organizer organized it? And that's like the beauty of, like, it stinks to say that we have to do the work ourselves, but the beauty of doing the decluttering ourselves is that we change our habits, and so therefore we're more likely to keep them up. And I'd hate for you to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to hire someone to come in, and then what ends up happening is 3 months down the road, or a year, or 5 years down the road, you have to do it again. Because if you don't change those habits, you're going to find yourself back in the same spot. I get a little bit obsessive about, like, where are they now for Biggest Loser contestants, because I think it's amazing to watch people make these huge transformations. But the sad fact about it is that a lot of them gained the weight back. And I think that's because it was such this controlled environment that they were eating very specific foods in very small quantities and exercising so much, and they lose the weight for the show. But then once they hit that goal of, like, losing the weight for the show is over. It's hard to keep that momentum going because they didn't do it in a healthy, natural way. They didn't do it in a way that fit in with their lifestyle. So what you see a lot of times is that quite a few of the Biggest Loser winners will gain the weight back, but then quite a few of them then go on another weight loss journey and do it slowly and change their habits, and it feels like they're going to be so successful because they're doing it in such a way that they're incorporating, like, they're changing their lifestyle. So instead of it being something where you have to exercise 6 hours a day in order to make this change, like, to maintain it, it can be something like now you're a lot more active and you're playing football with your kids instead of just sitting on the couch and watching TV. Or as a family, you go for bike rides or whatever the case may be. They have a lot more activity into their daily habits, into their lifestyle. It becomes more a part of who they are. So when it applies to decluttering, we have to change our mindsets, because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm just a messy person. That's just my plot in life. That's just who I'm going to be. Is it plot in life or lot in life? Anywho, that's just who I'm meant to be, and we can't change it. And I'm here to tell you, you can, because I went from hoarder level to a pretty decently clean home. And it's so funny, like back before Corona, when I could travel and I would talk to people on the plane and tell them that I teach about decluttering and I help people break their emotional attachment to clutter, people would be like, oh, you don't want to see my house. Or they'd say something of like, oh, I want to have you come to my house. And I feel like they're missing the point. I did declutter, and then magically my house became 100% clean. And then magically I became judgmental of everyone else. No, what I did is I removed the stuff that was getting in the way of me living my life. That's what I did. And I have 2 little kids, and we are pretty busy. And so I'm going to be honest with you, my home is not 100% clean. And I would love to sell you that idea that, like, if you just buy my stuff, if you just follow my stuff, like, I'm going to make your life 100% perfect. I would love to be able to give that to you. Unfortunately, I just feel like a lot of people who are selling that, they're selling something that's not possible. That being said, like, don't, like, go away and feel like you need to crawl into a ball and cry, because things can get really easy and really happy. Like, I feel like that's more important. Like, yes, my home has gotten cleaner, and yes, I can find stuff, and yes, like, when I open a cabinet, there's not like thousands of bowls falling out. Yes to all of those things, but like more than that is like how I feel. I used to be so down on myself. I used to hate my life. I used to have so many phobias. I still have quite a few phobias, but like I used to have all of these things. Like I felt like the stuff in my life was it was just coming in on me. It was like, I feel like decluttering, I talk about this, that it's not about the stuff, it's about the life. And you think like, well, my house is a mess. Of course it's about the stuff. And it's like, yes, it's about the stuff. With decluttering, I can teach you how to go through and to get rid of it and to break the emotional tie to clutter so that things that you know you should get rid of, you can actually get rid of without tears and nausea, as that's what would happen to me when I first started decluttering. And I totally got on a train. I lost my train of thought. So what was I saying? I don't know. So yes, it's about the stuff, not the, or it's about the life, not the stuff. So yes, it's about the stuff in that, like decluttering is about getting rid of stuff. But what I feel like is more important than that is you determining what kind of life you want to live out of your home, and then removing those blocks that are getting in the way of that. So back to my original point of it's okay to feel, I don't know, what did I say? It's okay to feel devastated. It's okay to, let me look up my note real quick. Oh, it's okay to feel defeated. It's okay to feel defeated as long as you pick yourself up and you try again. And it's okay to say, like, you know what, this is just not the season. It's too busy, or there's a lot of emotional things going on that I just can't handle more decisions. I can't handle going through stuff. I don't have the energy. It's okay to say that. Like, you have to be the judge of that, because a lot of times we can use life as an excuse to not want to work towards our goals. But you have to be the judge of that. And if you feel like this is just not the season, you can have grace with yourself and be like, you know what, right now I need to focus on myself, or I need to focus on my family, or whatever the case is. You might decide that there's something more important that you need to focus on right now. But if you're going through and you've decluttered, a lot of times what will happen is you declutter, you get on a kind of a decluttering high, you go through, you feel motivated, you get rid of stuff, and then a week later, a month later, you go back and you're like, it's a mess again. And it can be really easy to just give up. But I'm going to tell you that it's worth it to keep going. It's okay to feel defeated as long as you keep going. Because a lot of times, even if you've decluttered a space and you come back and it's a little bit messier again, it's usually not as messy as it was when you started. And we think that progress is going to be like this linear growth, that we're just going to continue to go up. And it's like a lot of hills and valleys, but like the hills and valleys go up. That's what I noticed a lot of times. Like, my messiest point wouldn't be as messy as it was before. Usually, like, my messiest point would still get better and better. And it's okay to have the ebb and flow. If you feel like you're doing something wrong, you're not. You're just human, and that is just part of life. And I think that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them and help you. I'm so excited. I have the first group over in the Conquer the Clutter decluttering course, and we're having like a blast. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited to see it come together. And hint, hint, I might be running a sale for Black Friday for it. I'm not sure. I'm going to do something for Black Friday. I just haven't decided what is the best thing to serve you and to help you along your journey. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.